evidence from the Epstein documents that would suggest that Hillary was not only familiar with Epstein and Maxwell, but a partner with Maxwell and Epstein. But she said again, probably a dozen times at least under oath, that she never had any knowledge of it. What I was surprised was that she kept saying she didn't have much to do with the Clinton Foundation at that particular time. And she said, we'll have to ask her husband tomorrow. She did admit that her husband had flown on the plane 27 times, on Epstein's plane. She did admit that Epstein visited the Clinton White House 17 times over a 2-year period. So she did admit to the stuff that's, indisputable. Tomorrow, we'll ask President Clinton a lot of the questions that Secretary Clinton deferred to him today.
So are you suggesting then that Hillary Clinton committed perjury during this deposition if she said that she didn't know Epstein, she didn't really know Ghislaine Maxwell, and you're saying there's plenty of evidence to show that she did? So what's the reconciliation there?
Well, we haven't been able to determine that yet. We're going to go over it with a fine-tooth comb, and I'm glad that this is essentially a public deposition, because the video and the transcripts are going to be released very shortly, so every American can watch this and see if they have evidence that something she said wasn't factual. You know, there were 3 different people that have said at different points, one who was very close with the Clintons, that they saw Bill Clinton on Epstein Island, and she said under oath that Bill Clinton had never been to Epstein Island. So he'll have an opportunity to answer that question tomorrow, but that's in direct contrast in direct conflict to what 3 different people have said. So, you know, it's one of those he said, she said things, and unfortunately a lot of the evidence with respect to the Epstein investigation appears to be missing or is non-existent right now. Hopefully we'll be able to find more.
Well, something that caused a little bit of a stir today was a member of your committee, Republican Lauren Boebert, took a picture and sent that photo, and it was posted on X. Have you had conversations with her or other members of the committee about following the rules that were set out in the first place before these things get started? What happened here?
Yes. Well, Ms. Boebert wasn't supposed to do that. She apologized, and that hopefully will never happen again. But Hillary Clinton released her opening statement, and the New York Times had a story up about it before Hillary Clinton even gave her opening statement. And the Democrats ran out multiple times during the deposition to try to spin to the press what was being said in there. That was against the rules, too. So Democrats violated, and then there was a New York Times reporter that cited a Democrat lawmaker in the room as to a certain tweet she made. So the Democrats were breaking the rules too. I've said no more of that on either side, and hopefully that doesn't happen again.
One final quick question with a quick answer, if you can. Did today's testimony get you any closer to bringing accountability for actual victims of the Epstein crimes, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think so. Look, she said pretty much the same thing Lex Wexner said, that Epstein was a con artist, because, everyone was saying, how did Epstein surround himself and Maxwell surround herself with the richest and most powerful people in the world? Maxwell, Clinton says she didn't know Maxwell, but she was at Chelsea's wedding, one of 250 people there. Epstein allowed Bill Clinton to fly on his plane 27 times. How does this happen if you don't know someone? But everyone is testifying that he was a con artist and all this and that. So we're going to keep digging, but I do think we're seeing accountability, because 12 people, men and women, powerful men and women, have resigned in shame from various boards around the world.
That is true. We'll be watching tomorrow with Bill Clinton in the hot seat. Oversight Chairman James Comer. Also, we'll be looking for that video of Hillary's deposition, which you say is hopefully coming tomorrow. Thank you for bringing us the latest from inside of that room. We appreciate it. And we'll be watching tomorrow. Thank you.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
Uh-huh.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Love the hustle, Cliff.
Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything.
Call that a plasma sword?
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
This is Ozarks First News, Midday.
Welcome to the news at midday. I'm Jesse Inman. This afternoon, public visitations will open up for the two fallen deputies in Christian County. Deputies Gabriel Ramirez and Michael Hyslop. That's happening at James River Church.
There'll be plenty of road closures, obviously those around James River, and around that visitation time, you'll see high volumes.
Services for the visitation will start at 5 and go until 8 tonight, and the funeral service will be held tomorrow at James River Church at 1 in the afternoon.
I think the community's response as a whole has been phenomenal. Ozark's great. They're always willing to help others out.
And with services happening over the weekend, the community continuing to provide support to those families affected. Local organizations and businesses are doing whatever they can for those who risk their lives every day in remembrance of Deputies Ramirez and Hyslop.
Myself personally living in Ozark, my kids go to the Ozark High School and elementary school, so we're a very close-knit community. We saw these officers every day. You'd see them around the community, incredible people.
People are partnering with local organizations to serve free meals for emergency responders and their families during Saturday's service at Ozark High School. This will start at 10:30 Saturday morning and go until 5 in the afternoon. Again, that service tomorrow for the funeral starting at 1. And as the community continues to mourn, we do want you to know there are ways to help the families affected, whether it's monetary donations or purchases at local businesses. You can find that list on ozarksfirst.com. And folks, if you can't make it out to the funeral procession on Saturday here at Ozarks First, we will be live streaming those services and coverage leading up to it and coverage after the fact. You can watch all of that on ozarksfirst.com or Ozarks First Plus on your smart TV, and we'll also have it on KOZL. Well, an apartment fire shuts down part of South Avenue in Springfield this morning as crews fight heavy smoke pouring from the west side of that building. The call came in just after 8 a.m. near South Street, and traffic was tied up as multiple engines, ladder trucks, and tankers rushed in to help. That's where we find Ozarks First Stoker Wyzorek. He's live at the scene this morning. Stoker, what have you seen there?
So, Jesse, take a look behind me. This is the part of the building that has sustained the most damage this morning. People are picking up the pieces of what remains of their belongings. Witnesses' video shows thick, heavy smoke coming from the west side of one of these apartment buildings. You can see here the fire bringing a major response from the Springfield Fire Department. The call came in just after 8 a.m., as you mentioned, along South Avenue near South Street. Multiple engines, ladder trucks, and tankers were on scene, and traffic in this area was impacted as crews worked the fire. People who live here tell me they woke up to water being sprayed on their windows as first responders moved in.
Lately, so I go out to the living room and lift up the blinds, and there's a bunch of people running around outside, and there's hoses going across the window. I go, I don't need any more evidence than that.
We moved the car. They were already hosing down the building.
And Springfield Fire Department has not yet confirmed whether anyone was hurt. I've reached out to them on further details on this fire. I'm still waiting to hear back from them. Stay with us here on Ozarks First as we work to learn more. Live in Springfield, Stoker Wyzorek, Ozarks First.
Stoker, thanks. Let's talk about our forecast now here. Another nice day ahead of us temperature-wise. A live peak here at Table Rock Lake in the Branson area. A couple more nice days ahead of us here. Get out and enjoy those temperatures today and tomorrow, even warmer. Here's meteorologist Tom Schmidt.
Yeah, it's looking like a beautiful day there from Table Rock Lake here in Ozark from the Haven Health camera. Yeah, crystal clear blue skies all around the land right now. Warm too, 67 right now in Springfield, 66 Branson, 70 in Harrison, 60s, a few 70s. We'll all be in the 70s by the afternoon. Looking at visible satellite, there's nothing to see, right? We'd have some fog early this morning down to the southeast and parts of northeast Arkansas, around Ash Flat to Melbourne, Walnut Ridge, a few fog in those valleys, but those are long gone. The fog's cleared away. Sun's shining brightly now. 75 and sunny. That's where we're headed this afternoon. A little breezy. The southwest wind 10 to 20 miles an hour. But today, tomorrow look beautiful. Back-to-back great days as we end February. Record highs possible for tomorrow. Cooler and wetter start to the month of March, which is on Sunday. And we're going to be watching for daily chances of rain and storms, as well as our first possible severe storm risk next weekend. We're tracking it. We're keeping an eye on it. We'll have that forecast coming up.
All right, Tom, thanks. The Missouri legislature voting to approve more than a dozen bills this week, including one that's reigniting a controversial topic. One of the bills approved by the House relates to an existing law that bans transgender participation in competitive youth sports. The measure will extend a current law that bans student athletes from competing in a same-sex sport that is not the one associated with the student's biological sex.
And this is just about those physical sports that have been set aside for girls.
There have only ever been 10 trans kids in the state of Missouri who have tried to play sports with their friends.
In the end, lawmakers in the House voted to remove the existing expiration date on the law and extend the current statute indefinitely. Lawmakers in Missouri also renewing a push to require drunk drivers to pay child support to victims left without parents. Cecilia Williams lost her son, daughter-in-law, and a grandchild to a drunk driver. She's now caring for her two surviving grandchildren, Bentley and Mason. Under Bentley's law, drunk drivers would have to make support payments until an orphaned child turns 18. If they have disabilities, payments would go until they're 21. 7 states already implemented that law, and 17 others considering it. A Missouri man who was freed after spending more than 3 decades in prison could be sent back. Christopher Dunn was released in 2024 after a St. Louis judge reviewed evidence involving 2 child eyewitnesses who have now recanted. Dunn convicted in 1991 after the fatal shooting of a teenager. The Missouri Attorney General's office appealing the ruling that released Dunn, questioning new stories from witnesses. The circuit attorney's special assistant countered.
Christopher Dunn spent 34 years of his life in prison based solely on the discredited and recanted testimony of two kids, aged 12 and 14.
3 appeals court judges listened to arguments Thursday and will rule in the coming months. Coming up, we're serving the Ozarks, and we've got a look for you at how 2 social workers are bringing support for children in our community. Stick around for the details.
Only Purple has the GelFlex Grid, designed to help you wake with less pain, because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Less pain, better sleep.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org. And now, Serving the Ozarks. Sponsored by Patriot Heat and Air.
School can be hard enough on kids, but can be even harder when their basic needs at home are not being met. That's where Care to Learn steps in. For this week's Serving the Ozarks, Carissa Codell takes a look at how a local program helps kids, but also how fellow students are stepping up to lend a hand to their peers.
It's not school supplies, but if it falls underneath health, hunger, and hygiene, Care to Learn has you covered.
They come to school if they're hungry, if they haven't been able to have a shower or, have clean clothes or things like that. It makes it really hard for them to focus.
Republic School social workers Christina Gann and Mallory Dugan say Care to Learn is important because it helps students be successful in class, which leads to a successful future.
Pretty plainly said, when a student's basic needs are met, they're going to come to school ready to learn and grow and thrive.
And other students can help out too.
If I miss a little bit of recess, it doesn't really matter to me if it helps people.
They give up their recess to either fill up tiger totes.
We have a couple people grabbing different foods, putting them in the bags.
Or work at the clothing store Price Tag.
It's just fun to help other people.
Yeah, it's fun to me to come and actually do stuff.
Tiger Totes sends home breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for the entire weekend to one child.
We do it because we know how much it helps the people who really need it.
Price Tag, where Lincoln and Hattie volunteer, has free clothing for students in need.
Do you feel like it's important?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Because it helps kids that can't get as much clothes.
Both Lincoln and Hattie tell me their fellow classmates shouldn't feel embarrassed about shopping at the discounted store.
I would probably just welcome them here and tell them that it's okay because it's not their fault.
Gahn and Dugan say their students are the priority.
We have students that we've been able to help purchase a mattress for. They were sleeping on towels, for example.
Dugan says it can be something as simple as a pair of shoes that can make all the difference in a child's life.
Seeing her put them on, so excited to go out to recess and running around.
Care to Learn has an upcoming fundraiser on April 23rd. They say every little bit of donations helps local kids.
If we don't raise those funds, then we cannot meet those needs.
Reporting in Republic, I'm Carissa Codell.
Serving the Ozarks, sponsored by Patriot Heat and Air.
All right, folks, today's going to be a beautiful day for us already. We're looking at 60s now, on our way to the 70s as we go through the afternoon today. Saturday is just as nice, and then we do a complete 180 on Sunday, talking cooler weather with rain. Not just one day, but every day next week. Your forecast is next.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
Here we go. Facts first, opinion second.
Katie Pavlich, part of America's new prime time. Diverse voices, fresh perspectives, with respect for all of us. Only on News Nation. News for all Americans.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savebythescan.org.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Well, folks, looking at that drought monitor, we're going to make some big changes as we go to next week. So this came out yesterday. Very dry. We had a dry December, dry January, and what's been a dry February. Had really just one big rain event in the month of February, where we had nearly 2 inches of rain. But it's like that was a one-and-done type thing, right, for the month. Not much else otherwise. So drought continues. Severe to extreme to exceptional drought, especially near and south of Highway 60. Farther northward, central, west central Missouri, it's dry, yes. And I think by this time next week, we will have changed this map by quite a bit. We're talking a lot of rain on the way for us. What's going to do it for us is that high pressure of the southwest, that breaks down Saturday. As that breaks down, that opens the door for the big storm off to the west to take over the west coast and that'll open the door for multiple waves of rain and storms to blow on through beginning Sunday. So wave 1 of rain kicks off Sunday, first day of March as well, ironically. We'll find chances of rain just about a daily basis going from Sunday to about Thursday and Friday, and even next weekend. Could find more rain and even a few thunderstorms there. So looking at futurecast for Sunday, right? Today, tomorrow, great weather. Fly by it. They look fantastic. Don't miss out on the weather today and tomorrow. Sunday's going to start cloudy. I think the rain holds off, though, until probably after noon, the second half of the day. So if you're going out the door Sunday morning, heading to church or whatever, it may not be raining early on, but as you go to about noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, first signs of rain will start to break out from west to east. And this will not be a big event. Sunday will be a very small rain event, maybe a quarter inch, maybe a half an inch, and that's probably just about it. But it'll be kind of the first of many waves to come beginning on Sunday. And it kind of tapers off as we go to Sunday night. Showers persist off to the east and northeast. Monday right now looks cloudy with another round of rain coming Monday night. So Sunday's round of rain kicks off the month of March and our wet weather pattern. That storm on Sunday leaves a boundary draped across the area. That'll be a magnet for the next several storms to come up and follow that boundary. So we got one Monday night. Tuesday is a washout. Wednesday looks wet and possibly stormy. Severe weather is not likely here, but a few rumbles of thunder across the Ozarks on Wednesday. As a storm passes to our north and west, Thursday looks wet. Friday looks wet and stormy as that front pushes northward, turning into a warm front, and that'll increase our instability. And then the bigger storm, the stronger storm. That's what we're watching out for Saturday this weekend. That's where we might find a risk, maybe the first of the season, for some strong to severe weather as we approach next weekend. How much rain we're looking at? Well, all said and done, today through about Thursday or Friday, 2 to 4 inches of rain on the way. Springfield for today, 67 degrees right now. Things looking good. A cloudless sky, 60s, some 70s down south. It's beautiful. Southwest winds, a little breezy, not bad though. Hey, guess what, that day planner? It looks good. If you're going out on a Friday night, Jesse, man, it's going to be nice. Can't much complain there. It'll be packed everywhere tonight. So folks will be out enjoying the nice weather. Saturday's good, and then kick off rain every day beginning Sunday.
Well, things should be nice for the first part of the weekend. Tom, thanks. Say on Ozarks First Plus, we have all of our live newscasts and 6 unique shows, including Put Me In Coach, a sports show hosted by myself and Chris Pinson. This week, we talked U.S. Olympic hockey, spring training for baseball, and a new segment featuring some impressions. Here it is.
Jesse, loaded show today.
Yeah.
USA hockey, baseball, automated balls and strikes. We got some football news to talk about.
We're going to debut a new segment here this week.
I'm sorry?
A new segment. A new segment. I loved watching the USA men's hockey team win their first gold since 1980. This was a magical moment for the country. It made me wish that the Super Bowl was at 8 a.m. because I just love waking up to high stakes sports. NFL Combine starts today.
40-yard dash catches everybody's eye because how fast are you? When you get a big man who can run under a sub 5-second 40, and you see their entire body just moving in slow motion. Those dudes look like Jell-O on a track star's body.
Ozark's first impressions.
Yes.
Couple topics, and we're going to see what these, we'll give you a little impression of what so-and-so might think of it. What would Gollum Smeagol think about this new automated ball strike system? Scott Hansen of NFL Network fame coming to you here live. Got the duo double box here on a Thursday. Having some fun on Ozarks First Plus and Put Me In Coach. You can watch it for free on Ozarks First Plus, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. We will have a guest in the house from the Humane Society of Southwest Missouri next.
All right, folks, welcome back. We're joined now by Mackenzie Palmer, the Humane Society of Southwest Missouri on this Fist Bump Friday. Welcome in, as always. And as always, you got yourself a furry friend to show off from the shelter. Yeah. Tell us about Roxanne.
Yeah, this is Roxanne. She's a precious 4-year-old terrier mix, and she's panting because she's been outside playing a lot this morning, and I actually have her water right here. But she loves to go outside and play. She's volunteer friendly, loves to hang out with volunteers. She's just a very curious girl and loves to explore and play. Yeah. She's very, very sweet. When I was asking our dog staff about her, they were just like, she's perfect. So they were shocked she was still at the shelter. So I was like, I got to bring her today. But she's just a really sweet girl. She loves to, like I said, go out with volunteers and play. She would likely do well with older children in the home or kids that understand boundaries, as she can be a little playful sometimes, but she's just so excited and just so ready to be someone's companion. So we just recommend bringing out the whole fam to meet her if you're interested. Sure. Our adoptions begin at noon every single day of the week out at the shelter at 3161 West Norton Road. No appointment needed, so feel free to come on out and view all of our dogs and cats.
Well, good deal. And this weekend you all will be at PetSmart as well, correct?
Yes, we will. We'll be out there tomorrow at the PetSmart out on Campbell Avenue from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for an on-site adoption event out there. So you can actually adopt them straight from PetSmart, take them home. The whole application process can be done out there, but we'd love to see you. We'll have some volunteers out there, and a table set up with some adoptable animals. So it's a great time to come out and say hi.
Go check them out and go get yourself a dog like Roxanne from the Humane Society. We'll be back with midday after this.
Only Purple has the GelFlex Grid, designed to help you wake with less pain, because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Less pain, better sleep.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything.
Call that a plasma sword?
For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
This is your prime time. News Nation, a different kind of prime. Diverse voices, fresh perspectives, with respect for all of us. This is America's new prime time, only on News Nation.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Oh, I don't see where you got your degree.
I don't have one. I went another route.
All right. I guess tell me a bit about your experience.
For 15 years, I've been managing logistics and mastering project management skills.
Wow. Sounds like you've got just the kind of skills and experience we're looking for.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up.
Laws alone cannot stop bullying.
Well, I completely disagree. Point of inquiry.
Do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
We're not powerless, so long as we don't lose sight of what's important.
Don't be afraid to seize that moment to talk to your friends.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space.
The first step on our new journey. You coming?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
Well, Unscripted is a great show. I'll say that. It's a great show. Happy birthday to Jeremy Rabe, no doubt. Tom, as we turn you loose here for the midday hour, get out there and enjoy some of these temperatures.
Oh, don't miss out. Today, tomorrow look great because next week, it's a washout, folks. Any day you choose.
All right. We'll be right back here at 5 o'clock. We're always on ozarksfirst.com. Thanks for watching.
We're talking netiquette today, internet etiquette, digital manners, from family rules to enforce to social media do's and don'ts, and what's going on with parents humiliating their children for content. We're talking the price of these pranks right now on Maggie and the Moms. It's time for Maggie and the Moms. Sponsored by Tampa General Hospital. We teach our children to follow etiquette rules like saying please and thank you, but are we teaching them netiquette, which is internet etiquette, digital manners? And what are those digital managers? The digital managers and the digital manners that all children and frankly parents should know as well, because if we're honest, we moms are not great about this as well. We have some work going on over there, as you can see, trying to figure out what's going on with our cameras, but there we are. Hi, ladies. My guest today, Natalie Safat, digital media expert, mother to Theo, a toddler.
I mean, he's 4.
He's 4. Is that a toddler?
That's preschool.
That's preschool. Yeah, Stephanie Rodriguez-Neely knows what everything's called because she has children of all ages, 6 of them. 6 of them right now at the moment. She's a super mom. She's a superhero. And at the board, Deanna Moore, hi. You okay? Looked like Garrett was helping you figure something out, but it worked, whatever it was.
Just move on.
She's like,
it's just one of those days.
It has been one of those days around here, but whatever. We all have those days, and we need to move forward. Okay, so netiquette was a great term that I saw coined in an article that I read from iMom, and then it went on to explain why it's not just about internet safety, which of course is crucial, but it's also about being kind and nice on the internet, having these digital manners. Because as they pointed out, just like you teach your children please and thank you, why aren't you teaching them how to communicate in the same kind way online? I have a digital media expert who's also a mom here. So I'm going to start with you. How would you define digital manners?
By the way, I have to start by saying that the irony of our digital stuff not working while we teach about digital best practices is not lost on me.
In other words, that's going to be the takeaway of this whole podcast. That sometimes you're going to do your best, and it's still not going to go okay, and that's fine.
Expect the unexpected.
That's fine. Yes. We do our best.
Yes, that's all we can do.
Right?
I think that netiquette is just another word for digital manners, and typically they range just like regular manners do from household to household. They're all a little different, but I think we can all agree on some core tenets, which are, when we're talking to someone, we put our phone down and we look at them in the eyes. And perhaps we also ask permission before we post someone to the internet, including, of course, a child. We can ask that person's parents, whether or not they're comfortable.
Let's take these one by one.
Please.
Because we have time. Unlike our TV segment that we do, we talked about this and we sort of have to rush through. We do have time to go point by point. That you said to put your phone down when you're talking to someone. This is a family rule in my house that is not always followed and not always enforced, frankly. That's so important because what do you think it says to somebody if you're talking to them and
you're not worth my undivided attention?
Right?
That's what it says. And I've told my kids that exact thing, like, put your phone down and look at me. Like, I deserve your respect. Even if you don't care about what I'm saying, I care enough to say it. Put your phone down or stop looking at the TV. Focus. When you split your attention, it says the person that you're splitting it with is not worth all of it.
So what are your rules at home for phones during, say, dinner time?
Well,
do you have any?
I hate to call them rules. It's almost like just etiquette.
Etiquette,
right? Right? Like you just, if if we're not having a screen time meal, which does happen on occasion, I'm watching one of my shows that I missed and the kids will be on their tablets while they're eating. It's very casual. Like, I don't care. It's fine. But if we're sitting down and we're trying to have conversations, do not pull out your phone. That's disrespectful. If we're eating out and mom and dad want to have a conversation, I don't mind the boys being on a tablet or my daughter piddling around on TikTok. But if we're trying to engage the family in a conversation, if one of them were to pull out a device, again, that's just bad manners. It would be if somebody pulled out a book while you're in the middle of talking to them. You just don't split your attention with somebody if you're trying to show them respect.
Exactly. There's no difference when you put it that way between bringing out a book and bringing out your phone in the middle of a conversation. I love that. All right. The other one that you mentioned is asking permission before you post. This is a big one for me. So to whom do you ask permission? Do you ask your kids?
Depends, I think, on their age. Depends on their understanding of what the internet actually is. Certainly, I think a 4-year-old would not be able to consent either way to an image of themselves being taken, posted. But I think with older children, I know you have some, Stephanie. Would you tell me what your thoughts are? Yeah.
Well, I've learned very quickly with a teen girl, do not post that picture unless you get her approval first, because they're never happy with how they look. So anything I post and I think, oh, she looks stunning, and I post it, and my daughter's like, Mom, why would you post? I'm like, you're beautiful. She's like, no, these are all the things that are wrong with me. I disagree, but it's her, so she has a right to say, please don't post that. Just like when my kids have snapped pictures of me, I'm like, all right, that's for personal use. I've got 2 chins showing, like, let's not post that publicly or share it with our friends. It really does come down to their age, their ability to have autonomy and informed consent, because kids don't understand the permanency of posting things online. So even if it's something small as a joke, I mean, there might be pictures that I've taken of my kids that I thought were completely sweet and innocent that somebody could have somewhere on some device that I have no control over
Well,
anymore.
that's why I don't post my kids at all on my public Instagram. Never have, not one photo. Look for it, you won't find it. But on my private, I used to, and I still do post photos of my children because that's where friends and family who maybe don't live here in Tampa see them growing up. But I'll never forget the moment, because I used to post without asking their permission. And I posted a photo, we went somewhere, and my son had to go on my husband's shoulders to be able to see something that was in a case. And I thought, oh, look at that sweet moment. And my son saw it and he says, why would you do that? I am blank years old. I am on my dad's shoulders. What if my friends see that? He was so horrified and so offended, and it never occurred to me that would be the case.
Because we see things through the mom's eyes, like, that's a sweet moment.
That's a sweet moment to me is a horrifying, embarrassing moment for him. And so that taught me, as from that day forward, may I post this photo? Are you okay with this photo? To both of them. And if I'm going to show something on TV, same thing. No. Are you okay with this?
But what about, like, okay, so we got a big family, and taking a picture where everybody looks good, is looking in the right direction, it's like herding cats. It's practically impossible. And again, my daughter, she is stunning.
She has 6 children, so remember that.
She's stunning, but she's never happy with how she looks, which is crazy because she's the most beautiful thing in the world. And we're taking pictures, and I finally get everybody looking this way, and Devin goes, don't use that one. My hair's doing this. Don't do that one.
So then what do you do?
Point, I need to post the picture for the family on these Christmas cards.
Do you need to?
I have a lot of family that is in Key West, Ohio. That's how I share my family with the extended parts of our family that I don't get to see all the time. So yeah.
So how do you navigate that?
Sometimes I just tell her she's got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I know she looks good and she's just being critical, I have to go, Devin, it's for family. It's not on a public account. I don't post publicly, but friends and family are going to see it. And she usually she's a little more reasonable now at 17.
No one's going to look perfect. Right. Not everyone's going to look perfect.
But how do you navigate that?
Yeah. Do you have issues with this at all, Deanna?
I'm such a voyeur in this conversation because I don't post that much. I got my hand slapped one time because I did like an appreciation post when my oldest daughter turned 10. And she was like, you didn't ask me. I was like, you know what? You're right. Sister, I'm going to listen to you because that is the right thing to do. I don't even post enough, and I still got my hand slapped. So.
Yes.
Lesson learned.
The irony of them being critical of what we post, where if you follow them on Snapchat, you're getting pictures of like this part of their eye or like the window.
But they made that decision.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's why
their autonomy.
I try to let it go.
Yeah.
But
all right, let's talk about another netiquette rule. I think that like if you think of, how when you text, tone can be a tricky thing to interpret, right? So you write, I'm fine, and the person could read it as, or it's fine, and the person could read it as, it's fine, or it's fine.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful, right? What the words that you use and how they could be interpreted. Do you think that much about it?
Yes.
You do?
I overthink it. Am I the only one? You guys look shocked.
When you send a text?
Well, okay. So again,
Explain.
teenagers. And we've had this fight with my daughter. She drives me crazy. She will text me all caps, Mom. And that's it. And I'm like, where are you? And I'm on my way. And oh no, can I have my boyfriend come over? I'm like, why do you text just the word mom to send me into a straight
in all
panic?
caps?
So then
Mom with no, and then does she
Right.
wait a while before?
So I do the thumbs up response, right? Just the
Right.
thumbs up. Apparently that's super passive aggressive. That's like, you might as well
What?
give the middle finger if you're going to
What?
do the thumbs up.
I
Don't
can't.
What are you
do it.
talking about?
I can't with all of
So
this.
what do you-
Please help us,
why?
Natalie.
Why is that passive aggressive?
Why does she feel that's passive aggressive?
That's just what it is. That is a fact of 17-year-old life. And
Okay.
it's not just her, my other teen daughters that
No,
we
Gen
foster.
Zers, all Gen Zers think that.
It's a thing that's, it's
The way you say K,
passive-aggressive.
if you okay versus thumbs up.
Or KK. They do KK.
KK.
And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. Okay, but I have to jump in there because this article that I read said teach your kids not to type just K, which is one of my pet peeves. When my son gives me the K,
Yeah.
I'm like, I go off on him. But that's how they speak to each other. And so who am I, an old lady, to tell him, maybe don't say K with me, but I'm not going to force him to type like at
Right.
minimum 3-word replies to his friends.
But, why not though?
Because
there's
that's not how they talk to each other.
This is where I'm coming from. There's a standard with parents versus a standard with teens.
That's what I'm saying
Doesn't-
too.
Don't give me bruh if you're going to tell your kids bruh.
Yes.
So there should be a standard for you.
No. You misunderstood. With me, you better not say K
Oh,
or
okay.
bruh.
Well, I thought you were saying it should be a fine.
No, with
Okay.
me, I don't want the K. I don't want the bruh. But with your friends, I'm not going to force you to text your friends.
Oh, of course.
You know,
Yeah.
The other side of that too
in
is
a formal way.
don't you feel like when your kids are texting you, I can't say for all of them because they don't all text. It's actually really just my 17-year-old now. But when she texts
when
me,
they snap.
and but she'll be like, bruh. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And I'll put the little teacup emoji. I'm like, spill. Like we have that little lingo going back and forth where I kind of love it because like she feels like she can talk to me,
Yeah.
not just as a parent. When we need her parent talk, she knows the tone and the way to do it. But when she's like, let me tell you what
Time
this
and
girl
place.
did.
Right, so context. So she's about
Yeah.
to spill
Time and
the
place.
tea and she says,
Yes,
bruh.
bruh.
Okay. Agreed. You're nodding.
I think this sort of counts a time where we as kids were told not to say like yeah or or and we had to say yes, or we were instructed to speak in a polite way and not abbreviate or sort of use slang. And I think I remember being a kid and my parents, remember landlines? Remember when you would
yes.
call your friend but
Of
like
course.
the mom would answer?
And you had to say, hi, Mrs.
You had to have a
So-and-so."
whole
That's it.
conversation with
Yeah.
a parent before
I-
you talk to
I
your
remember
friend.
That
one
was
time,
wonderful.
right?
Awful when you were a kid, but looking back, amazing.
Yeah, like at first I would just be like, is Ashley home? And then my mom caught me one day and was like, no, you have to greet the mom and you have to say, how are you doing? And then ask the thing. So I think all of this boils down to we want our kids to be polite and sort of respectful,
Yeah.
whether it is in the real world or on the internet.
How much it translates and changes over because like there was a point where if you typed all in caps, like you're screaming, and then that kind of went away, and then all of a sudden nothing's capitalized, and now things are capitalized again, and I
too
can't even
much to
keep
keep
up
track
with it.
of.
Sometimes I'm like, wait, are you mad at me? Did I
Yes.
do something? Because mom's all in caps. Are you in a ditch somewhere?
Yes.
Like that's always my first thought with that.
I think it's just
It's
the
hard to
takeaway
follow.
is etiquette, what you said. Have manners just as much online and in the digital world as you are required to do in the real world. My son, I saw something that he typed to a teacher and he's like, hey, Mr. So-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And I go, you cannot start a letter with, hey, Mr. So-and-so. He's like, but I walk into class and I go, hey, Mr. So-and-so. I'm like, that's different. That's different. So you have to teach your children these things.
Wait, what's the alternative? What do you want him to say?
Hi, or Mr. So-and-so.
Is it bad that I
Hey
literally
is a
put
little
that in
too
my emails? I'll be
casual.
like, hey, Deanna, I got an event
I don't
coming up. You want
think
to talk
that,
about it?
my personal opinion, and maybe every family's different, I don't think that a 15-year-old kid should be addressing a teacher as, hey, Mr. So-and-so.
Hey is too casual. Even hi feels more.
I
polite
think
to
it
you.
depends
Or-
on the relationship because my dad was a coach. He
Yes.
coached for years and years and years locally. And he had relationships with his students where that showed that he was connecting with them. He liked when they were like, yo, Coach Rod, high five.
in person, but in a letter.
Well, there wasn't a lot of texting
addressing
back
Yeah,
then
but I
either.
would say probably 40 years ago, people were saying, "You're saying hi. That's way too." They would have. You
Too
should have
casual.
said hello or
Dear.
dear,
Yeah.
Mr.
Dearest.
So and so.
Okay.
So I think even you have evolved.
Okay. So maybe I have a little more evolution to go. But you know what? That's what motherhood is. All right. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to continue talking about this, including the Disturbing, I say, of pranking your children and posting their humiliation right after the break.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Used to it.
I guess so. Okay, we're still talking about social media, and I want specifically to talk about this trend. You see so many parents pranking their children for content. Okay, the egg crack prank comes to mind. I was so disturbed by that because it started, I don't think it started with children. I think it was adults to adults, and then kind of like the mommy sphere picked it up, and then you saw these women doing it to their infants, and the infants were clearly not happy. They cried. They said, "Why would you do that?" And then the mom still posted it.
Some of those kids displayed much more emotional maturity than the parents themselves.
Isn't that ironic?
It was wild.
They literally asked, "Why would you do that? What are you doing?"
The one girl, that's not nice. You don't do that to people. And I'm thinking,
so,
let's learn from these children.
Exactly, because we are their teachers. So what are you saying to them when you are hitting them over the head with something, laughing at their reaction to it,
and then sharing
and then encouraging others to view and comment on their humiliation?
Yeah, you're not setting a good example. I think we can all agree. I think when I see this type of content, right away I feel like we have to create a line in the sand between what is funny and what is actually oversharing or harmful. And I think the barometer or the level of discernment for all parents, mothers and fathers, is that we should be looking at what actually gives your child a genuine trigger. If you've experienced something with your child and in that moment they are nervous, they are crying, they're fearful, they're embarrassed, they're having a tantrum, certainly that is not framing them in a positive light in any universe that should be shared online.
Yeah, why would you share their worst moments? How would you feel if your kid, if you were having an emotional breakdown, which I've had, I'm a mom, I got a lot of kids. There's times where I've cried, there's times where I yelled. What if my daughter recorded it and posted it? I would be livid. I would feel violated. I would feel disrespected. Totally. I don't know how I'd get over that. That would be breaking a level of trust that I don't even know how to recover from. Why would I do that to her?
If more moms thought of it that way, this wouldn't be happening. It's out of control.
Yeah, kids are not content. I cannot get behind any parent that monetizes their kids, even positive stuff. And again, I have people all the time going, you should create a channel and let them follow along with your foster care adoption. Why do I want them to follow a journey of my children's private stories? That's their private story. That is not for me to share with other people for likes, views, and monetization. Like, I just can never get behind that.
We follow, I know you follow too, because I saw Hi for Tessa. Do you follow her?
Remind me who that
She's
is.
writing a book. It's coming out soon. We want to have her on so bad. And she talks about the mom influencers who like capitalize off of their children by posting their first periods and, you know, having a tampon company sponsor it.
Oh my gosh.
Humiliate them. You know, just everything is for profit, and these kids don't have normal lives. And it's so fascinating to watch. I don't want to judge these people. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I'm
but
judging them.
It's almost like prostituting your kid.
It is.
That's what it
I agree.
kind of boils down to for me.
The kids do not have the level of informed consent needed to say this is okay with me. The parents are not giving them options, and there's just no good that can come of it. There's been laws enacted in Hollywood to protect kids from this type of exploitation, and we're not seeing it yet at the social media level because it's still so new and it's
you make
growing
a
so
really
quick.
good point.
But parents cannot put their kid in a movie and pocket all that money and force them to do things anymore. Why can we do it?
And yet you're
Legislation.
seeing the effects of some of these kids who have grown up with this now, because it was very new not too long ago, and we didn't see, those of us with common sense knew how that was going to go, but now we're seeing it, and we're seeing these kids who say, you messed me up, you stole my childhood, you humiliated me. So I hope that I mean, you would think it would be enough, but it still goes on.
Is the
It's still
paycheck worth
rampant.
it?
No, nothing is worth your child's happiness and well-being. And as as parents, our job is to raise these kids that do not need to recover from their childhood. And we cannot do that if we're exploiting them for social media, for that dopamine boost from seeing another like or comment. And people on the internet are mean. You could post something completely sweet and wholesome, and you're still going to get people critiquing it, criticizing your kid, asking them, why do they look like that? Why are you doing that? Why expose them to a world of hatred when you can keep them safe and teach them better at home? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. We're going to wrap up the conversation right after a quick break, so don't go away.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait, reach out.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
Ooh, pretty colors.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Before you go, just a takeaway. I mean, time always flies when the conversation is good. We were talking about parents who prank their children for content. Is it worth it? My gauge when I'm thinking about everything that we do parenting related is I just think about the kids. Mm-hmm. I just think about them and how is this going to affect them? Does it make sense for them? Period. I don't want, because I have thought many times like, oh my gosh, I want to post this moment. I want to post, because it makes me, it shows how cute my kid is, or I would seem like such a good mom, or my daughter's beautiful. My son is so handsome. My son is so, but then I'm like, why am I doing it? Is this going to benefit them? If the answer is no, then I don't post. That's how I do it.
I think that needs to be what we think about before we do anything with our kids. Like, how does this benefit them? How could it harm them? And then make the decision. It's like I tell my oldest, like, before you do something, go, is mommy going to be happy or sad? And if she's like, oh yeah, mommy's probably not going to like that I tried to microwave a metal pot, I better not do it. There's your answer. We need to have the same accountability for ourselves as we expect out of our children.
Yes. But is it truly going to benefit them? Because you can convince yourself that it will. You can say, yes, this is an amazing photo of and maybe it'll lead to, people liking it. And then what? So why do you need
the
that?
benefit of that? I probably overshare so much. Like I said, my family can see my kids, especially the ones that are older or can't travel anymore. They don't get to experience my children except for on the videos I post on Facebook. But again, that's private, only people I know, and it's private, and the kids know. And I don't post their worst moments. And I used to. I posted videos of Devin crying, and she didn't mind, thank goodness. But I go back and I go, I couldn't have even asked her. She was 3. She wouldn't have known what she was saying. Yeah, mommy, post it for her.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that when you think about the intention behind the post, are you doing it as a celebration of your child or to share with community or family versus I'm looking for a dopamine hit or I'm looking to profit off of my child likeness, whatever the powerful reasons are that there is a multi-billion-dollar, obviously economy of mom and dad influencers. Mm-hmm. I think the intention is really important. And I think checking yourself, even if it is to look back and say, you know what, I don't agree with something I did 5 years ago or 5 minutes ago.
Don't you guys look at stuff and you go, why would I post that? What did I was thinking?
And I think the internet has changed a lot over time. We talk about that too, that, 10 years ago, I think we didn't have the same understanding of the permanence and the sort of longevity of posts. And in some ways, those of us who had kids were at a disadvantage 10 years ago posting about them. Yeah, honoring the intention, honoring the ever-changing landscape of social media, too. All really important.
I think I'd rather be safe than sorry. That's where I come from. That's why I barely post, because I feel like I'll look at that post, like you just said, and I'll go, was that really worth it? Yeah. So I just don't post, which is probably extreme.
And that's great.
Whatever.
And that's fine.
It is what it is.
Yeah. When out, don't. That's a rule of journalism, and it's a rule of life, and it's a rule of parenting. I'm going to apply it to everything. Well, and I'm going to end it with this. Just like we started this podcast, we're going to do our best, but occasionally we're not going to get it right. We're going to have to try. We need a Garrett to come in and fix the glitch and try to help us, and that's what we try to do here, is have these conversations to help each other. So thank you, ladies, for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you next time on Maggie and the Moms.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
Elmo loves to giggle. Elmo's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it off. Love your mind.
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that I would never be able to get over it and that my kids wouldn't have a father. I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. For the longest time, fear held me back from ultimately being who I wanted to. I had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's and master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Tensions remain high in the Middle East this morning, with U.S. officials walking away without a deal from Thursday's talks. President Trump has increased military presence and warships in the region. And while Oman's foreign minister, who mediated the talks, says there's been significant progress, specifics haven't been laid out yet. Iranian state television also reports that Tehran is determined to continue enriching their uranium. For more, we're now joined by Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. Joel, good morning to you. Let me just start with something that just came down in the past couple hours from the embassy of the U.S. Embassy of Jerusalem. They sent out this tweet saying in part this: on February 27th, 2026, the Department of State authorized the departure of non-emergency U.S. government personnel and family members of U.S. government personnel from Mission Israel due to safety risks. What's your read on that?
Well, it is an ominous sign that there's an expectation that there will be further military action and another war between the United States and Iran. And I think what this means in particular is that those serving in Israel on our behalf from the United States, they're thinking that Israel will become a target of Iran. And so this is the drumbeat towards what could be military action as early as next week, because these negotiations you're opening, they were inconclusive at best. And so I just feel like the gaps between the two sides are so large that we don't see a diplomatic path right now that's very clear.
Yeah. For the U.S. Embassy to send out a message like that, how close do you think we really are to military action taking place? And do they know something that we don't?
Well, they certainly are watching the negotiations, not just publicly, but they also have their way to listen in. And I think they're looking at that and making a judgment that this could be within days, because an ordered departure like this, it's not a fully ordered departure, but allowing for a departure of non-essential personnel essentially means that the groundwork is being laid, I think, within days. But we do have a congressional vote likely next week. We do have another negotiation next week, so that may delay military action unless there is some other breakthrough, which, again, didn't happen yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was the third round of failed indirect talks. So the next round gets kicked to Vienna. I mean, after that, at what point does President Trump say, you know what, I've given you enough warnings, I've given you enough, you got 10 or 15 days to get your act together. After Vienna, should he take action, you think?
Yeah, you know, Marky, there's a fundamental disagreement at the core of this negotiation between the two sides. Frankly, Iran wants the deal that they negotiated back with President Obama a decade ago. They want that back, which is to have some level of nuclear enrichment capability in the country and to keep on going with that. And President Trump says no, and he said no for over a decade, and he tore up that deal in 2018. And so we're now at the point where those two different visions about what Iran can have in its nuclear capacity are coming into conflict at the negotiating table. And you add to that, of course, the Iranian regime has massacred thousands of its own people in the last month Plus, again, the strategic environment, as we're discussing in the region, is much more favorable to the United States than it was a decade ago. Iranian proxies have been decimated across the region. And I do think that we're heading towards military action if the Iranians, frankly, don't accept what they're being asked to accept at that table.
Okay. Well, the president's window gives them till the beginning of March. We'll see what comes here in the coming days. Joel Rubin, thank you as always for your perspective, and have a great weekend.
Marky.
I'll see you next week.
You too.
And while Oman's foreign minister, who mediated the talks, says there's been significant progress, specifics haven't been laid out just yet. Iranian state television also reports that Tehran is determined to continue enriching their uranium. So where does this leave us now? We're joined now by the senior director of the Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Iran program, Behnam Ben Taleblu. Behnam, welcome back, as always, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Marky.
Let me start with two things that just broke here within the past couple hours. On Twitter, on X, I should say, you have the U.S. Embassy of Jerusalem that sent out this tweet saying that the Department of State authorized the departure of non-emergency U.S. government personnel and family members of U.S. government personnel from Mission Israel due to safety risks. You also have China that just advised its citizens to avoid traveling to Iran and urged those in the country to evacuate as soon as possible. I mean, Behnam, something seems like it's about to happen. This seems significant.
Indeed, we've been sliding towards a potential conflict now with the Islamic Republic for about 2 months now, but we hadn't seen the signs, the flares and lights and all the rest that we had seen in the run-up to the 12-day war in June up until right now. Yes, there was a hardening force presence in the region, but were there those civilian and commercial drawdowns that we had seen up until the 12-day war? That's why these two notices that you just read out, Marky, are so critical and such an important reminder that no matter the diplomacy that is going on or has gone on in Geneva and now soon to go on in Vienna, that both sides mean business and that the region and the world still believes we are on the precipice of yet another conflict in the Middle East.
And so yesterday we had the third round of failed talks. The fourth round is now getting kicked to Vienna next. How much closer did this just get us to said military action, you think?
Well, up until we had the descriptor for that fourth round be labeled as technical, I would have said purely failed. But it is odd to move from political talks that have failed to technical talks. It's hard to technically draw up the contours to something or provide details if there is no political understanding or framework. So while my guesstimate here still holds 20% chance of deal, 70% chance of strike, 10% chance of containment or stasis, the developments that you read this morning, plus the fact that talks are moving from political to technical, are major complicating factors.
And Trump said at the State of the Union that Iran has 10 to 15 days to make a meaningful deal. That clock runs out in early March. Do you take that deadline seriously? And when that clock runs out, is it time to make a move on our part?
More importantly, I think the Islamic Republic needs to be taking that clock seriously. I think if they replicate their diplomatic strategy against America in 2026 from that which they tried in 2025, the same thing will happen, which is that they will be subject to strikes again. Now, there's lots of questions and concerns over what kind of strikes. Is this a defanging mission? Is this a counterproliferation mission? Is this regime change? Is this paving the pathway for protesters? What kind of strike could it potentially be? But I do believe President Trump means business. And if past this prologue, those numbers, those drawdown dates are going to be very, very important. So if the regime is going to try to buy time, they should know that time is a weapon on President Trump's side.
You know, when the United States attacked Iran last year, it was last June, we were told that the United States obliterated those nuclear sites. Have they already started rebuilding? I guess what I'm getting at is what kind of intel is the United States working off of to make these decisions right now?
Well, assumedly, it's national technical means, so satellites and intercepts, the things that have made the U.S. an intelligence and really global superpower for quite some time now. The most important thing I would say, if one is looking to make sure the Islamic Republic of Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon, is to find a way to get the International Atomic Energy Agency back in there, and not to pay for that with sanctions relief, but to actually get that, because that means that a country would be living up to its outstanding nuclear obligations. Now, you mentioned the strike, Operation Midnight Hammer, that did destroy 2 very active Iranian enrichment facilities, and that's why there is believed to be no ongoing enrichment in declared nuclear sites. The fear, however, is that would the regime move to undeclared enrichment facilities? That is one big question. And the second question is the regime isn't necessarily just rebuilding the same exact thing, it's hardening some of its facilities, particularly facilities that are associated with other elements of its nuclear program, like weaponization and like centrifuge manufacturing.
Yeah, and before these talks were even over yesterday, you had state media saying that Iran is determined to still continue enriching uranium. So I'm wondering at what point diplomacy works, if ever.
Only Purple has the GelFlex Grid, designed to help you wake with less pain, because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Less pain, better sleep.
Ooh, pretty colors.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait, reach out.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
With us now, Dave Rubin, host of the Dave Rubin Report. Dave, I'm supposed to ask the questions, not give the answers, but I have a theory here as to why we have heard so little from Israel, and it has to do with Benjamin Netanyahu as a student not only of Israeli politics, but of American politics. And he is, I think, very worried about the rise of anti-Semitism on the right, driving a wedge between the United States and Israel on Iran. Agree?
Yes. Well, he's a student not only of Israeli politics and of world history, but of American politics. And I think he's well aware of our culture wars here. And look, if you look at a certain portion of the right, it's hard to figure out how much of it, but a certain portion, which I would definitely include Tucker Carlson as the leader of, there is a radical isolationist bent, which I think you can be absolutely libertarian and isolationist, and that can be a perfectly moral, honest position to hold, of course, but somehow an endless obsession with the Jews. The video that you guys are showing on the side of me right there, that's when he's sitting down with Nick Fuentes, who was quite literally the one person that Charlie Kirk made sure was not going to be part of his Turning Point USA movement. And within 2 months of Charlie's assassination, there was Tucker promoting him and, basically fluffing him for the hour. He then had that unbelievably unnecessarily combative interview with Ted Cruz. He just did the same thing with Huckabee, who did a spectacular job. So I think there are many layers being played here. There's going to be a physical war, seemingly, but there's also the culture war portion of it, and that, Trump has to maintain alliances that are tough to maintain. He created a very wide tent MAGA movement, and wide tents are hard to hold.
Okay, agreed on a number of those points. You seem to be saying that the rise of anti-Semitism, if I hear you right, in the Republican Party is part of the culture war. I'm wondering if that's not underselling it a little bit.
Well, look, I mean, anti-Semitism is the oldest hatred. There's something particularly nefarious and unique about it in that people will say, on one hand, if Jews have power, they have too much power. If they don't have any power, they're parasites. If they succeed, they cheated. If they don't succeed, they're outsiders. You can do every which version of it. They somehow seem to think that Jews are always the sun and everything is revolving around them. It's actually, it's quite boring. My mother was I happen to be Jewish. My mother was a nursery school teacher. My dad worked in the garment center. Nobody controlled anything, barely our household, but we did okay. You know, I don't, it's hard to quantify what really is going on. On a day-to-day basis, is anti-Semitism on the right really flourishing in the real world? It doesn't really strike me that way, and that's the problem with what's going on. Yeah, well, because if you contrast that with what's happening...
I just want to give...
Well,
let me just give you
clarify.
Okay. I just want to play real quickly what Tucker Carlson said, and then I think you and I may find some agreement. Take a listen.
Everybody knows the only reason we're having this war is because Israel wants it. This is their last chance, they believe. This presidency is the last presidency where they're going to have unequivocal bipartisan support. What's so amazing is that Israel, which at least is acting in what it perceives to be its own national interest, is joined by its shills in the United States, of course. But really, its only other ally in this is the American news media.
All right. So, yeah, let me jump in. First off, look, let me just be very clear about Tucker. Tucker is a liar and a charlatan and a buffoon. I would recommend anyone could go check out my Twitter feed today. Someone did a fact check on his on his episode with Huckabee. He lied 36 times. There's a fact check there, so you can check all 36 times he lied, and interrupted Huckabee literally over 500 times. Now, that is not to say that he doesn't have an audience and he isn't confusing people and making them think nefarious things, but he is one of a ton of podcasters that exist. He's just one. He's created a lot of energy around him, and he knows how to get clicks, and he knows how to work with Qatari bot farms likely and Russian bot farms, and go to Saudi Arabia and cash checks and make his nicotine in India and all of those things. But that doesn't mean he represents a huge amount of the conservative base. I simply don't see that. The left has a way bigger problem, I think, with anti-Semitism for a whole other host of reasons. Yeah. The right, you know, the thing on the right, Leland, I think it's really important to note this. There's a huge pushback against him on the right. When the left started going to its crazy excesses about a decade ago, there were very few people pushing against it. The right is doing a much better concerted effort. And by the way, you know, if you're Donald Trump and you happen to be watching News Nation tonight, and I know he does tune in every now and again, Tucker's insulting you. He's making it seem like you are somehow Netanyahu's puppet, and that's completely, absolutely, completely absurd. I have full confidence. I'm a citizen of the United States. I'm not a citizen of Israel. I have full confidence that Donald Trump knows what he's doing, and he has an unbelievable track record of doing the right thing. And look what he just did in Venezuela. We got Maduro in 2 hours. Simple as that. So I'm not saying that's what Iran would be if we are going to do it, but everything Tucker says. Tucker said back in May when the original 11-day, 12-day war happened, that it was going to be the beginning of World War III and cost 20,000 American lives.
Okay, so
thankfully.
This interview is good enough. I think we need to keep drilling down on this, because I think you're drawing this distinction between Tucker Carlson and the right, where the right and big voices on the right are actively and aggressively talking about how wrong this flirting with, or in some cases embrace of anti-Semitism is. On the left, the difference, of course, is that the anti-Semites are embraced by the left and protected by the larger left. We can go deeper into that because you have the Marxist expansionist Islam merger that happened in the 1970s with the Iranian Revolution. That playbooks happened again in the 80s with the Palestinians, happening again right now, the Palestinians and the Soviets. The question for you, though, is, it doesn't worry you at all that President Trump has not excised this part, J.D. Vance especially, more so than Trump, but seems to be playing, I would say, too cute by half with the Nick Fuentes and the Tucker Carlsons of this?
You know, I think after 10 plus years of Donald Trump mostly doing the right things and really directionally moving the country in the right place and playing an unbelievable amount of 4D chess, as they say about him online, I think it's worth trusting him. I really do. I'm not saying, yes, would it be nice, apparently Tucker went into the White House, you know, a day or two ago, would it be nice if Trump maybe afterwards was like, you know, this guy, Trump did call him kooky, and if he had said, you know, he's a little kooky, we disagree on foreign policy, I don't think he has great faith in the American military, I do, he's not privy to all the things we are doing, et cetera, it might have been nice. But again, holding that alliance together, you have to remember, Trump created something extraordinary. You know, I'm a former lefty, as you know, 10 years ago I was a progressive. He brought in guys like me, guys like Joe Rogan, people like our friend Jillian Michaels, Bobby Kennedy, who was running as a Democrat. All these people suddenly are on the same political side as evangelical Christians, as more traditional conservatives. Trump created it. That's what MAGA is, because we all believe in America.
What ties you all together, hold on, what ties you all together, though, is a support of Israel. And I think it's been one of the most extraordinary parts of Donald Trump's legacy was support of Israel during his first term, the Abraham Accords. I was there for his first visit to Israel, previewed that for Fox News, been covering him now through this second term. Again, lockstep support of Israel, which I think is probably one of the best parts of American foreign policy and has reaped enormous returns for the United States. So why does he allow this group to still sort of, I would almost say, be a parasite to the MAGA movement, if you want to call it that is so virulently anti-Semitic and anti-Israel?
Right. So I don't know the answer to that question. I would agree that the ideas are incredibly nefarious. And again, they're hacking away at Donald Trump. What Tucker's doing every day in his newsletter when he says Bibi is commanding the U.S. Army, which he said in a newsletter 2 months ago, or these types of things, the constant attack, what he's doing is really going after Trump. So he's using the Jews and Israel as just sort of a lever. I actually don't think most people are buying it. And my guess is that Trump is going to do what he thinks is right either way. He did that back in May when we dropped a couple bombs on those nuclear sites, and I think he'll do what he thinks is right here. I can't sit here, Leland, and tell you that I know exactly what the right thing to do is, but I believe in the America that Donald Trump has helped recreate right now. We are, you know, a lot of people, I think much of the consternation about this is because we had some adventurous wars that were largely mistakes or sold to us the wrong way. What Trump has done is said, look, I hate war. Everyone knows he does hate war. Sometimes you have to fight to end war. You know, if the Iranian regime, if the radical Islamic regime of Iran and the mullahs and Khomeini were gone, and the mostly Persian people took their country back, and the Shah came back, et cetera, the entire world, the entire Middle East would be completely different. Their proxies have been destroyed in Lebanon. Yeah. The Houthis are banged up. Everyone could just basically say, you know what, the Jews, they have the thing the size of Jersey with no oil. Just let them have it. It would be a war to end wars, not a war to continue wars. I know that's sometimes hard to explain to people that are hopped up on nicotine.
Yeah.
Not you. Talking about the other guy.
Yeah. All right. Dave, well said. Thank you very much.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex Grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together. Because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple. Less pain, better sleep.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys.
Can I get a little space here? Biologically, no. Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
This is your prime time. News Nation, a different kind of prime. Diverse voices, fresh perspectives, with respect for all of us. This is America's new prime time, only on News Nation.
The FBI is shifting its resources in the search for Nancy Guthrie this morning, nearing 1 month since she disappeared. Investigators are turning the property back over to the Guthrie family, and we've also learned there is potential new evidence from a nearby house that could offer a lead. Let's certainly hope so. News Nation's Mills Hayes is outside the Guthrie home with the latest. This video of these cars driving by, what's the latest on that and what authorities are saying about the status right now, Mills, of the investigation?
Hi, Marnie. Well, it's unclear if that video would help investigators, but we do know that the Pima County Sheriff's Office is aware of that video and that they are reviewing that, as well as with all of the video that they have received. Now, it has been nearly 1 month since Nancy Guthrie was last seen, and it appears that the crime scene investigation at her home is wrapping up as the FBI is shifting a lot of their resources back over to the Phoenix office, where they'll be investigating the case from there. Now, yesterday, News Nation cameras did capture a man putting up surveillance cameras outside of the home, as well as the Pima County Sheriff's Office blocking off the road. And we did see another man taking mail from the front porch and then putting boxes into a car before driving away. And the Pima County Sheriff's Office tells me that they are aware of that new video. It was a Ring camera video reportedly from this house showing about a dozen cars drive by in the early morning hours the day that Nancy Guthrie was taken. The house is about 2.5 miles away, just outside of the radius that authorities initially sought for video from neighbors. And meanwhile, the FBI is reducing the number of agents in Tucson and moving their command posts to the Fields office in Phoenix, according to multiple reports. A former FBI agent tells me that investigators aren't giving up, that this is normal, and investigators can do the same work remotely as they are doing on site once most of the evidence is collected and the neighborhood is canvassed. He also tells me, despite no new information from law enforcement, the case is not cold.
I think the public also has to understand that the lack of information flowing from law enforcement doesn't mean that this case isn't being worked feverishly behind the scenes. You can't release information that would compromise the case. So I think the public still has to be confident that it's being worked, but naturally after 30 days, people are going to start wondering whether this case has gone cold or not.
The FBI is reportedly ready to release Nancy Guthrie's home to her family. She was last seen January 31st, and surveillance video shows a masked man at her front door ripping her doorbell camera off the wall on February 1st. And there have been tens of thousands of tips in this case, but no suspect has been named. And after the family released the information that they would be giving a $1 million reward to any information that led to Nancy Guthrie's her being found, they've received about 1,500 tips from that. But Savannah Guthrie even saying that she realizes her mom could already be in heaven right now. Still, they are asking for anyone with information or video from the area to come forward and bring that to authorities, Marnie.
Yeah, just a heart-crushing reality that the family must consider at this point, although still hopeful that that is not the case. Mills, thank you. Joining us now is trial attorney Reagan Charleston Thomas to talk about these cases. I mean, it's staggering to hear how many kids are taken advantage of on these platforms and what the platforms are able to do about it. Let's start with the testimony from this plaintiff who took the stand in California. She said she spent 16 hours a day, a single day on Instagram, that she would scream and cry and throw a tantrum if her mom tried to take the phone away, and that in her testimony, it became about boundaries for her parents. Did this testimony help or hurt her case as it was laid out before the court?
Well, we did hear from the young woman, and this testimony absolutely supports her case and helps her case. In fact, one of the alternate jurors was actually seen wiping away tears during KGM's testimony. 16 hours seems seems extraordinary. But when you think about children that pick up their phone as soon as they wake up in the morning, they're using it throughout the day. I believe she testified that she was leaving class to check her phone in the bathroom. She was obsessed with monitoring her social media platforms after school, at night. It's practically all day that this young woman was spending on her social media applications. And the case here, we're focused on Instagram and YouTube. She started using YouTube when she was 6 years old and Instagram when she was 9. And, her use of these platforms led to significant and severe mental health issues and anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia. And this is something that we're seeing reflected in the internal studies, the external research. The companies have acknowledged in their own documents and communications that these are in fact risks, that there are harms that their products can cause. And, to hear from Mark Zuckerberg on the stand, he did acknowledge, yes, keeping children off of the platform has been an issue. Basically, I wish we could have done something about this sooner. What I find kind of curious is that I got on my social media, Instagram, this morning to check, and right at the top, there's a banner. It's about...
Hey, two dudes and a Doppler. Jamie,
hey, what's up?
Loosen that tie up, bud. I don't have one on my neck today.
Hey, check out the tie.
Oh, is that a little rain tie?
Rain tie. Those are umbrellas, folks.
Oh, is that a preview of the forecast?
That's a preview of the forecast.
That is what we call foreshadowing, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Also, a lot of red on you, Jamie Warner. This is the Valentine's theme episode of Two Dudes and a Doppler. And what I mean by that is I don't have anything special planned for Valentine's Day.
You don't have to get it. You don't have anything special planned for me. Do you have anything special planned for your girlfriend?
I do. We already went out to dinner once, and she messaged me. She's like, "You think we can do that again?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, fine."
Boy, go out to dinner again?
Yeah.
Or do Valentine's Day again?
Well, we had Valentine's on like Monday, a week before Valentine's Day, and she's like, "Can we do that again?" Yeah. All right. I'm not hard to convince.
This is good. I mean, it's better than I don't want to do that again.
Yeah. I don't want to see you. I had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got any tips for the newlyweds or those in love?
Oh, are you talking about?
No. Just for the young love couples out there. You've been married a long time. You've been through many Valentine's days. Any tips for?
Sorry, I'm adjusting this microphone.
It is starting to droop on you a bit.
Here it goes. Yeah. That's not what I wanted to do.
You're not seeing it on camera, but Jamie got it and went up and then went.
It went even lower. There we go. We just keep messing with this.
It's a game of whack-a-mole. I think you're just going to have to hold it.
Yeah. Okay. Here we are.
Tips for any new Valentines?
New Valentines. Let's see. You want to keep it light. Talk about good things. Talk about the future. Don't be clingy.
Okay. You have any pickup lines like?
No, I
did Cupid hit me with an arrow because I'm feeling the love this Valentine's Day.
You've already picked her up. You don't need a pickup line.
Yeah, but you gotta keep the love going, keep the interest, keep the.
I think you just you seem to be a funny guy. You just the jokes.
You're good looking, Matt. You're handsome. You're a catch.
The conversations.
This conversation is getting a little bit too lost from the truth. Hey, this episode, Two Dudes and Doppler, that was our Valentine thing. We're moving on past that. We are doing a top 5 coolest videos Matt could find this week. Some of them pretty cool. All of them related to weather. There's one of them that's not related to weather, but it was so good. Me and Jamie were laughing looking at it that we had to throw it in.
It is so good. It is.
I don't even want to tease it because I think teasing what it could be may kind of ruin the surprise of it. But we're going to get right into it. Start of the show.
Let's do it.
Did it happen in this area? But we got a segment for that. You know, it's there's always interesting weather somewhere. It's fighting you.
I feel like I'm going to strip out the screw. I'm going to ruin the microphone. It's as locked down as I can get it.
It's looking good there.
Okay.
We're going to the next segment while Jamie works on his microphone.
No, I'm not touching it.
It's raining somewhere.
I promise.
It's raining somewhere.
Jamie, we are going to Fish Lake, Washington. And you're like, where is Fish Lake, Washington? It's just a couple miles north of Chumstick, Washington. Okay, so Chumstick, Washington. It is in the middle of nowhere in Washington. I tried to look it up. I tried to be like, oh, it's this far from Spokane or Olympia.
Kind of like a SpongeBob reference there. It's Chumstick.
Chumstick, Washington. Yeah, about 5 miles north of Chumstick, Washington. You'll find Fish Lake, Washington. And a couple days ago, you would also find a poor man that fell into the water. Best case scenario, though, he fell into the water on the exact same day that the sheriff's office was doing training on ice rescues.
That's good timing.
Gary, pull up this video for me. Very lucky man over in Fish Lake, Washington. You can start to see, here's the officers on their belly, crawling to the man. They got 2 of them. You're wanting to disperse your weight. That's why they're on their belly. They're crawling. The guy's just as calm as can be.
I can't believe that. I mean, because the water temperature is 35 degrees.
Hey, guys. You want to get in? It's good for a swim.
There we go.
Oh, boy.
Now they get, what, 1, 2, 3. I think they had 4 people in that little.
They get down and
once.
they're like, hey, dude, you mind getting back in the water so we can practice this again?
Get a little group hug. Yeah, their annual training. They were on the lake for their annual training, and I don't know what this guy was doing. I think paid actor maybe.
Yeah.
Went back out there and
he walked across the lake to see what was going on.
Hey guys, what are you doing out here?
Whoa.
Quote from the officer out there said he was okay. He drove himself home. Our sergeant said if they hadn't have been there, this could have had a very different ending. I think I tend to agree with that, but. That is cold.
Sometimes it's, it's being in the right place at the right time.
35 degrees.
Yeah.
35 degrees.
That's cold.
I wonder if this guy was seeing the Winter Olympics, the figure skating. He's like, all right, let me get out there. Let me rip one. And then he just clunk right in the hole. I don't even know if we will ever get cold enough in our area to safely do that.
To what?
To go across a frozen lake? You think?
I mean, we've had bouts of cold weather that lasted long enough where, I mean, the ice thickness got pretty thick.
Okay.
Enough
to hold 200 pounds? Or?
Yeah, like a small pond.
Yeah.
Those can freeze over. I mean, if you have below freezing weather for a few days, those will freeze over. And, of course, we've gone, since I've lived here, going back to 2011, I can remember – one time at least, this was, I think, February 21, we went 2 weeks where the temperature didn't go above freezing.
I think last year it was 5-6 days with temperatures 32 or below. Yeah. So, okay.
So maybe a pond. I think, Table Rock Lake, I know that, like, the arms will freeze over, like the arms of the lake will freeze over, but the lake itself won't freeze over.
Okay.
So... to your point, I don't know if like one of the big lakes, in our area is going to do that, but the arms might freeze over.
I'm not going to try it.
Yeah, me neither.
Number 4.
I don't like being that cold.
Number 4 video of the week of what Matt could find. This one is weather related, and this one isn't as cool because we're not as cool. We got some warmer temperatures that moved in.
Speak for yourself, man.
Quote number 4 for us, and we see a very beautiful satellite image. Yeah. What you're seeing, the blue right there, that's moisture. That's water vapor, and it's just starting to eject our way. Gary, if you can, try to get that on a loop for me. If not, I can get that in post-editing, so that won't be too much of a problem. But this is what is all that moisture that's starting to move in across the West Coast. For us, it's just going to be rain.
Yeah, big rainmaker, And here's the interesting thing. A few weeks ago, we had that big snowstorm. And this isn't a completely different pattern. I mean, this is a relatively similar-looking storm, taking a relatively similar track. It's just this go-around, there's no cold air connection. There's no cold air out ahead of it. So it's just going to be a rainmaker in the middle of winter.
Yep, and that's what we're looking at right there, all that moisture just ejecting out. This is rain for us. We need the rain. Since January, 1 inch of rain. Yeah, since Thanksgiving, less than 2 inches.
We've just been in this ongoing drought. It's like we had that really wet spring last year. And then we had the big windstorm at the end of June, and it was almost like that wind blew all the rain chances out of our area because it's been dry ever since. I mean, we've had some rain, but it's been a drought really ever since that moment.
Your forecast, I mean, this is going to air on Friday for some people. Some people are going to see it on Monday. So
For our CTV fans.
The CTV fans, you get to see it a little bit earlier. If you're watching from KOZL, I guess you can critique our forecast. We're thinking some spots 1 to 2 inches of rain.
Yeah.
Really Saturday. That's the day to get the rain.
Yeah, it comes in Friday night. Looks like it's going to be just sort of a rainy night across the area. I can't rule out a rumble of thunder, but it doesn't look like that's going to be very widespread. And then on and off showers throughout the day. Saturday tapers off as drizzle Saturday evening. Could kind of turn a little foggy overnight Saturday night. Again, here we are, middle of February. This is a really cold time of the year, and we're talking about just a rainstorm.
Yeah. I do want to stress just a rainstorm. I've heard people on Facebook be like, snow chances. That's not happening. I've also heard people on the other side of the coin be like, tornadoes coming this weekend. No. I mean, you can get tornadoes in February, just not with this setup. We were talking earlier, and we're like, we're getting close to tornado season.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
You're right. I mean, for me, I feel like there's 2 windows during the year where you really don't expect tornadoes. We've got a couple of like really, you can kind of look forward to those times of year as being quiet. One is basically about early to mid-August throughout the end of the month of August. That's a pretty quiet time in regard to tornadoes. I mean, you can get some strong winds and stuff, but you typically don't get tornadic weather during that time frame. The other period is about mid-January through mid-February. That's also a kind of a quiet time for us. But then once you get to about mid to late February, here it comes. You start getting those first initial chances for severe weather, and it looks like it's turned warm, right?
Yeah.
We've already had some record highs.
Back-to-back 70s.
We're looking at record highs, I think, as we get into the third week of February. And a lot of times this time of the year, you get into that kind of pattern, you start looking for severe weather on the back end of it. And I think that we are going to get into a pattern into that third week where we could have there's going to be some pretty potent storm systems coming through the middle of the country. Lots of wind energy. We'll have some instability, some warmth and humidity. So we'll have to start watching for at least low-end chances of severe weather.
Gary, if you can pull that video up one more time. This is kind of what we watch out for is a trough that develops off in the west, a whole lot of moisture that starts to eject out. This is a pattern to get winter storms. This is a pattern to get severe weather. The positioning isn't exactly lined up for us to see severe weather out of it. That's why I think we're just going to have a rainmaker, and we're obviously too warm to have any snow out of it, but we're getting closer. And this is a sign of the setup for these storms, the setup for spring, the setup for this nasty weather. The atmosphere is getting closer and closer to putting those pieces together. I think we're good for this week, but it's not that far away.
And it really comes down to storm track. I mean, like with this rainstorm this weekend, it's taken a southerly track across the U.S. So it's cutting across the southern plains and the deep south. It looks like as we get into week 3 of February or looking ahead to the next week, that's when these storms start coming out into the middle of the country, higher in latitude, cutting across, the Corn Belt area. And that puts us more in line for severe weather chances. I'm not saying that we're going to get severe weather, but those pieces are now showing up on the board, and we could start seeing that.
You heard it here first. Jamie Warner calling for an EF5 tornado to sweep across the Ozarks. Start preparing it right now. Put it on Facebook at this moment. Dangerous storms are coming.
No naders.
Speaking of which, once I just fear-mongered, that was a joke, by the way. That was a joke. Congratulations to Jamie, and I guess a little bit of me, too. We did just win 10 years most accurate.
We did.
So
we did.
You have been here for all 10 of those years. I've been here for 3 out of the 10. So I feel like
Matt said that if we didn't make it to year 10 most accurate, that he was going to get fired.
I was actually scared getting this job here because I'm coming right out of college, not a lot of forecasting experience. I'm like, what if the streak ends because of me?
And it's all Matt's fault.
What if it's me that ends the streak? But
I take no blame.
A decade of dominance. That is incredible. That was announced for us earlier this week that we won 10 years, and thanks for trusting us with your weather coverage.
You'll have some people that are, that I don't know what their angle is, but they'll be like, you guys aren't most accurate. They'll talk about our competitor, and I'm like, listen, guy, we save all of our forecasts, and there's other reasons why I save the forecast, but we save all of our forecasts. We know what we forecasted. We also save the data, the observations for all of those days, so we can make comparisons, so we know where we stand.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like that snowstorm that we had back in January. I mean, I was very
Felt good about
proud
that
of our
one.
team and how we performed in that. I mean, that was a good, solid forecast for that winter storm. And so that's what we try to do. Now, there are going to be storm systems. There are going to be days where we don't get it. We fall short. Some of the trickiest days are like in the wintertime where you expect a sunny day and it's cloudy, and you're going to have a temperature bust out of those. But you try to keep that to a minimum.
There are some days where it feels like, all right, we were wrong the least, because
or
you're not always right in
you
this
adjusted you adjusted the quickest, to what was correct. So,
but wanted to give a quick shout out for that. We're going to go to break. When we come back from break, I'm going to not have a voice crack, and we're also going to do a top 3.
It's like, Matt, how's puberty going?
Really start to ramp off. We're back right after this. That voice crack.
Only Purple has the GelFlex Grid, designed to help you wake with less pain, because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Less pain, better sleep.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to bed.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I feel that I'm not getting the attention that I need, and it's a lot built up in my chest. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at soundidouttogether.org.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Here we go. Facts first, opinion second.
Katie Pavlich, part of America's new prime time. Diverse voices, fresh perspectives, with respect for all of us. Only on News Nation. News for all Americans.
All right, we're back. I want to waste no time. Right into it. Number 3. It's always pretty. It always gets the oohs and ahs. It always happens from time to time. Gary, pull up that number 3 video for me. We're talking about the aurora.
Look at that.
This happened a little over a week ago.
Of light.
The stunning green, the pulsating, and the camera on this International Space Station. Of course, that's the only way you're going to be able to get this type of shot. Lots of greens in this. And anytime you get the green and red color, that's typically oxygen. You're seeing the particles that are being ejected from the sun playing with the oxygen in our atmosphere. You can get the blues and purples, but that's more when it acts on the nitrogen in our atmosphere. So Nitrogen makes up, I think, 78% of our atmosphere.
Most abundant
Oxygen,
gas
about
in the atmosphere, right?
21% of our atmosphere. My degree is in atmospheric sciences, so I have to get that in. I have to slide that in. But very beautiful.
Yeah.
Anytime we get this, we didn't see it. This is mostly for the poles that were able to get their aurora. We've been lucky. We missed out on this wave.
We've talked about, we talked about the Northern Lights many times over the last couple of years. It's been a really incredible run where we've had multiple occasions where the Northern Lights were seen very far south in latitude. I went all of my life, I'm about to turn 50, I went all of my life without seeing the Northern Lights until over the last year.
I think our chances are going to start to fade. We're at solar maximum, which means you're getting a little bit more energy out of the sun. That will start to decrease. Yeah. That's a, 12-year cycle?
Yeah, 11
11-year cycle.
And sometimes when you come off that max, too, you can still get these big CME bursts.
Yeah.
So, it's possible that we, if the sunspot is oriented in the right way, pointed toward Earth, and we get another one of these big CMEs, we could see the Northern Lights again before it goes quiet.
Let's go to number 2.
Okay.
Let's go to a place that's not so quiet. We are going to Russia, and I don't even know if I'm going to try to pronounce that. Kamchatka, Russia. Jamie,
Kamchatka,
it's
Kamchatka. That's the Kamchatka Peninsula. There it is. It's in the script.
They got a little bit of snow. Just a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
Gary, pull up that video for me. Number 2. Okay, I lied.
Hey, what's underneath all that snow, man?
7 feet of snow over in Russia. They're trying to pull a vehicle out.
That's ridiculous.
Look at that mound.
That's ridiculous.
The little engine that could.
Oh, man.
You got it. Oh!
It's like a dog shaking off the water, It's like,
Can you imagine if that guy was in front of you on the highway with 7 feet of snow on top of his car?
Have you gone down the highway? And we've actually, after this past snowstorm, I know that we interviewed MoDOT officials, and they were talking about making sure you clear off your vehicle. Because it is dangerous, but I have seen that after snowstorms where somebody will have maybe 5 inches of snow that's kind of compacted on the top of their vehicle, and they're making their weekly run to the gas station or whatever. They haven't been out in a while, and they're going down the highway,
just flying off.
And the whole sheet of snow lifts up like a flying saucer and then goes behind the vehicle and falls flat in the highway. And I'm like, that looks super dangerous right there.
I believe that's illegal.
I don't
know if it is in Missouri. I know some places you're required to clear your car off.
Yeah.
But they normally don't get that much snow. That's about 4 to 5 times more snow than what they typically get. It was reported that's the most snow that they've seen in about 30 years.
That's crazy.
So in Russia, in Siberia, you expect to get a whole lot of snow. That's extreme for them, too. This is not a normal Tuesday for them. I don't know. If you ask your grandpa, he may be like, yeah, I remember when it snowed that much in Springfield. I had to walk to school in that snow. They didn't let us get a day off. It was so bad. 7 feet of snow on the ground. 2 people were killed. They had a snow avalanche as a roof caved in. That's a whole lot of weight for these roofs to hold. And roof caved in and killed a couple people.
That kind of snow, you see that up toward the Great Lakes with these lake effect snow events. I can think back
2,
over
3
the last
feet, yeah.
Well, I can think back over the last couple of decades where there have been instances where Buffalo or areas near Buffalo got nailed with 6, 7 feet of snow in one go. Because those lake effect snow bands just set up and then they sit and just dump snow.
There's lots of patterns to get a lot of snow. Lake effect is one of them. Another one is in Japan, they get mountains of snow too because they have all the air that goes up the mountains, get dumped down.
Orographic lift, yeah.
Orographic lift. So 7 feet.
Yeah.
7 feet of snow.
That's a lot of snow.
And somehow they managed to pull a car out of that.
We got to have time. Come on, Matt. Let's get to this next video.
We got to get number one in. Number one is related to weather. Trust me, it's related to weather. I don't know how, but...
And even if it weren't...
Let's pull up number one.
So good.
The number one video of the week. We got a thief that has been apprehended. Look what he did right here. Got a forklift, broke in. This is your classic jewelry heist. Pushed the cabinet over, started picking up all the pieces off the ground. Right now, you're like, why is
the gold, getting the silver?
You're like, why are you guys covering this? Why is this number one? Because of that right there. Yeah. He escaped on a donkey. Runaway vehicle of a donkey, buried the gold.
What do you do with the loot? You got to bury it, right?
You got to hide it.
Jesse James style. You got to hide it, man. You got to hide that loot.
Buried it, and there's him getting arrested. In case you're wondering, All of this happened within 24 hours. From the moment that he got a forklift, broke into the jewelry store, stole the jewelry, got away on a donkey, which is one speedy escape, buried the gold. Police found the man, found the gold, got him arrested. This is, to add to it, the forklift he got was stolen from an address across the street.
Of course.
I don't think this
I bet
was
the donkey was stolen too.
I don't know. That may have been him. Cannot confirm this report. Local media out of Turkey saying the man was riding his donkey and was drunk. We cannot confirm. This is rumors at this time. Allegedly was drunk before he decided to steal the forklift, which let him rob the shop.
I can see how that could happen.
The thing is, they're like, oh, we got more information on this case. The thing I want more information on is the donkey.
Yeah. Is the donkey okay?
Is the donkey,
I'm going to be honest.
A criminal? You know,
what was
is
funny?
he accessory to this crime?
Well, so he's the getaway donkey. So when so Matt showed me this video and he was like, man, this is the, what's the word that we could use? This is the coup de grace. This is just, the cherry on top. And I was like, okay. And then I watched the video and I was like, you are spot on that. The donkey part, I think what I like most is they speed up the video. So the donkey's just like, hauling donkey,
I don't know. That may be top speed. Be careful. Don't say something we're going to have to bleep
donkey.
out.
That's right. Anyway, and then I'm like watching that video and it's like, what might even make this better is if it's not really a real donkey. It's two guys in a donkey suit and the guy's riding this. That's kind of how it felt to me. Yeah.
Unsuccessful robbery attempt. So in case you're
what
wondering.
What got him caught?
I don't know. Let's see here.
Did the donkey talk?
I got a script right in front of me. Well, it didn't help that they had security footage of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You could see him ride his donkey across town. I imagine they're like, oh, yeah, that's George.
I know
George is on his
guy.
donkey. Yep,
yeah.
The entire thing happened from breaking in to getting arrested in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder.
I mean, look at that.
That is sped up. Okay, that is sped up.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if he's not a first-time offender.
I like too. I love that he buried it.
Yeah.
If you're like I said, Jesse James,
buried treasure.
You're a pirate. That's what you do with gold, man. You bury it.
That is your top 5 weather videos of the week, and definitely all 5 of them were weather videos. I don't know how we can relate that last one to weather, but it's cool enough we had to sneak it in.
It was cloudy. Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Tell someone that you love them for your Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You got anything to add, Jamie? We've got about 10 seconds here.
No, I just hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day weekend.
Hard to disagree with that.
Record highs next week. Record highs.
Rain coming this weekend. Record highs coming the week after. Another episode coming the week after, too. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.
Introducing Purple, the only mattress with the GelFlex grid, designed to relieve pressure and reduce pain, so you can end and start your day feeling refreshed. From quiet mornings to meaningful moments together, because the right bed doesn't just improve your night, it improves your day. Save up to $500 on a Purple mattress during the President's Day sale. Purple, less pain, better sleep.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with a routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
I'm a United States Marine. When I came home, I became angry. I had migraines and respiratory issues.
I served in the Army. There's a lot more people out there that have gone through more things. I shouldn't go and get those benefits because they had it worse.
If you could say anything to that veteran, what would you say?
Every veteran is deserving the benefits they earned by serving our country. You deserve because you serve. If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor and master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
We're not powerless, so long as we don't lose sight of what's important.
Don't be afraid to seize that moment to talk to your friends.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space.
The first step on our new journey. You coming?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.